Welcome to African Couch Potato, the mashup. I'm your host, Gino, and today we will be joined by Portia Hlubi to chat all things reality shows. You started out a multi-choice.
Yes, I could say that, but I started out in the very first class of internships, which multi-choice was paying for, yeah.
Magic Factory.
Yes,
and then
the
from
very first group.
Yes, so you were the best of the best.
And now I think it's called Talent Factory or something.
Yeah, multi-choice talent. And then from there, you were a commissioning editor.
Yes, a junior one.
Yeah. Oh, junior one. From Mzansi.
Yes.
Then you left commissioning editing to go do shows that need a commissioning editor to approve.
Amen.
How?
Very well put.
How and why?
Multiple reasons. I think obviously it was a great opportunity to start in broadcasting because you get to see the other side. But I think my interest was really in the guys coming in and pitching and telling us stories. And I'm like, no, I want to do that. I don't want to be the guy that's hearing it to approve, which is also quite an interesting part of, the process. But my attention and my interest was really the guys on the ground who are on the sets, who are putting it together, more than the guys that are receiving it.
Yeah.
And I think that interest really built up quite strongly. And then I was like, let me go to the streets and freelance. And ever since then, I haven't really looked back.
Does it give you an advantage to know what people are looking for when you pitch?
Absolutely. I think when you start in broadcasting, you know the tone they're looking for. Also, you know what's important to them. Because a lot of the times as creatives, we've got these brilliant ideas, but it's really only good for me and my friends.
Yeah.
Because they are a business. Any broadcaster is a business. So when you tell people, they take offense, because the idea is just so personal, and you're like, but the question they're going to ask you is, are 20 million people going to watch this?
And do they
And
care?
if you say no, then why are we pitching it? And I think once you understand that, yes, it's your precious baby and you're creative, but will it make the person that's paying for it money?
Yeah.
That's when you start shaping our idea. So it does help because they are very viewer-centric. What does the viewer want? Not what I dreamt of 10 years ago. And no.
So what does a viewer want? Like your normal Mzansi magic viewer?
I think in my opinion and based on what I've seen with the numbers and just the masses, I think they want honest, authentic, relatable stories. I think we want to see ourselves nowadays, which is quite rare. I think in the past, we weren't really seeing ourselves on TV. We were aspiring to other cultures. Now they want to see someone that speaks like them, sounds like them in another world, and experience that reality through another perspective. That's why your other reality shows will do well. Your Mam Kizes, your whoever, because it's another black person who looks like my mom, but is an interesting world. And I think that's where the difference is that as much as we want to see ourselves on TV, I don't think people want to see me because I've got nothing extraordinary to offer. But other people who look like us, sound like us, have interesting things to offer, then the viewer starts catching on. But I think the Mzansi Magic audience wants something relatable, authentic, aspiring, but also I think we're a very authentic audience. Once we start performing and acting and doing things that are not within our nuances, we kind of we don't really attune to that kind of content.
Yeah.
I think we like simple, good storytelling.
Do you think that's why there's a migration towards reality stuff now? Because seeing ourselves in aspirational worlds, that was the premise of each generations. Do you think we just got bored of having a scripted universe instead of seeing people actually go to woolies that I can also go to?
Look, I think your scripted or your generations, it's aspirational to look at Ezwin, right? Communications.
Yes, as in communications.
But the problem is it's scripted. So already psychologically, I know these people are acting. So now it's like, will I be able to attain that in real life?
Yes.
Whereas in a reality show, the premise is that it's real. So if I'm seeing this person go from point A to point B, it's more real because I'm like, I can attain that. I can do that. Whereas in scripted, because the world is already fiction, it's hard for me to believe that it's true. Once I take the same thing and I show you in a reality show, you're like, "Hi man, I can do this thing. I can be that person."
Yeah.
I think that's the love for realities because of that word real.
Yeah, and it's more attainable.
Yes, I can touch it. I can access it.
How do you now get into Real Housewives of Johannesburg?
So the franchise first came obviously to South Africa via this production company with three lovely ladies that I worked with. They went to the broadcasters to have the idea, and the broadcaster said, you need somebody that really understands story. And they got a hold of me and I joined them, which I think was such a privilege to work on the franchise as the first one in Africa. I know now there's Durban, Cape Town, Lagos, and all these things. And Joburg is the guinea pig that everybody laughs at, But you have to start somewhere. You have to lead. And I think that's how the project came about. And then we did season 1, season 2 together. And then the other branches started coming out. Incredibly difficult franchise. One, it's not an African thing to watch 6 black, arrogant, loud, bossy women showing off their money. So that's quite like, okay, this is bold, but I think the reception has been absolutely phenomenal, clearly with all the other ones branching out. So yeah, that's how Joburg came about, which was really the kickstart of, I think, what is now quite successful.
Yeah, but isn't it gossip worthy? Isn't it the fact that you're watching arrogant snobs spend money something to talk about?
Yes, which is what I always say about what makes a good reality show. Show me something that is extraordinary. Show me something that I don't get to see every day. I don't get to see a black woman taking the dog to the parlor. That's not in my day-to-day life. So then it becomes escapism for me. Then it becomes a place where when I watch the show, I can really forget that I have to catch a taxi in the morning and then a bus. I can really watch these ladies and go, wow.
Yeah.
And to know that they live in Pretoria, which is like 20 minutes away from me, is it like, So I think that's why it does so well. And I think it does well because they are rich and they've got all these attitudes. But I think, again, what makes it different from another country is that we have to be honest about it. So it's nice to see Yoli Joys who cry about black tax because you might be rich with all the money, but an e-wallet to the aunt must happen, you know, which is what then makes the franchise more interesting to us as South Africans. And I'm sure in Beverly Hills and other countries, they've also have their own nuances where I wouldn't really be able to relate. So I think that's the twist, is that yes, keep the franchise as it is, but give us those things that make them a bit South African.
So speaking of Beverly Hills, with all of these different seasons, you then go to Nigeria to shoot Real Housewives of Lagos.
Yeah.
What's the shift? Because Nigeria is generator city. So firstly, you're dealing with noise all the time and traffic all the time.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest culture shock in my life. I think it was the toughest show I've ever done till date in my career. But it was also a very important show to do to sort of shape my career. I think it was incredibly difficult because what is wealth in Nigeria is not necessarily what is wealth to a South African. And I remember I'm foreign now in this country and I have to produce and direct this thing and sell what is wealth to them.
Yes.
So there was a lot of things that I found interesting. I mean, for example, when somebody said they live in gated communities, I'm thinking Sandhurst, like gated just means
it's a gate.
Yes. So then wealth then becomes different, and the traffic and the no electricity, but that's their life. So for them it's not foreign. So I have to now adapt and communicate the story as best possible to what Nigerians would love. Hence why when the show used to play on Fridays and South Africans used to complain, I used to be like, but is the core audience of Nigeria happy? And if they were happy, that means the job is done.
Does Nigeria not just follow South African trends? Or they've got their own trends?
I think they definitely have their own that they have set, because they're quite a strong group of people. Hence why the Real House of Lagos for me is really, it's quite a brave concept, because those women, it's even hard to brief them. And they taught me a lot of things about TV. They come onto the set as superstars.
Yes.
So really your attitude as a director is, I have to know what I'm doing. Like they don't compromise on, oh guys, you only have this time for makeup. They don't do that. A brand is a brand. So I think they do set their own trends, but maybe they're not, I don't know, as loud about it, but I think, they are very sure of themselves. That's one thing I really took from them. They don't need any validation from nobody.
They are it.
They are it, and if you have got a problem, then you move over.
Yeah, if you have a problem, it's your problem.
Not theirs. And it shows in the show.
Yeah.
I mean, the show got physical and 4%? Yeah, they don't play.
Was Kenya quieter now when you did the reunion?
Kenya was more modest. So Kenyan women, I think the difference in my opinion is that they have the same issues, but they have to keep it classy. So Kenyan women will fight gracefully.
Okay.
But if you hear what they're saying, it's quite,
Yes.
but it's in the way. Whereas Nigerian women, it's now, like, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're more modest and they're more, don't shout. It's uncultured. Yeah.
So you go from lavish, luxury, opulence to Ingan's Temp,
Yeah.
which is more quieter, more demure.
More rural.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think more rural, more quieter, but not necessarily quieter in personality. And I think I was very strategic about how I want to position them, to say I might be from a small town, but doesn't mean I've got a small mind. And I think I'm very particular about that in reality shows, is that just because I come from Mzumbe or Ladysmith or wherever I come from, doesn't mean I'm not going to make it to the world. So we need to be careful as to how do we position the black narrative.
Yes.
What are we saying about each other? Hence why in the first season you see them coming to Joburg and experiencing Joburg. In the second season, it's just like they're on another level, because I think I'm intentional about saying I might be from Portia, but that's not where I'm ending.
Yeah.
And you get to see that quite a lot in the new season.
Yeah. You're from Etandi, ne?
I went to school in Itandia.
Okay. Was your journey up north the same, like your journey to Johannesburg?
Yeah, mine was like, I think I went to a very privileged school at the time. So my exposure to the industry came from my teachers who were like, oh, you really, you read well and you do well in certain subjects. Do you want to try things like drama? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they introduced us to EFTA, where we saw the pamphlets and all these things. And I was really from a rural small town. And I was just like, because we were taught high school, UJ, vets, listen, don't come here with film school things. We don't know what that is.
Don't dream too big.
No, calm down. And sort of my teachers really forced the way. So when I came to Joburg, because I came to Joburg from a small town. And I just remember being in Melville thinking, thank you, Lord, this is like New York.
Yeah.
Like, what? I've made it. And then I go to EFTA where the library has got MacBooks. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So it was a huge culture shock for me. And I guess you're right in a sense that maybe the way I tell the stories is a reflection of how I sort of navigated the space. It was extremely difficult. The culture shock was insane. Just the money. I think if I went to a normal university, maybe it was not going to be that bad. But after what? Your classmates are driving cars that you can't even pronounce. You've got to be kidding me. So it was quite intense. And I didn't even finish it after because I just couldn't afford it. So when I dropped out, for me, it was like, do I go back home or do I make it work? And I really pushed.
Yeah. So you only did first year after that.
Yeah.
Then you moved to Big Fish. But
Yes.
Big Fish is more of like a liberal, shorter courses.
Yeah, and remember moving to Big Fish via the talent factory, not via the school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we went to Big Fish as a group to just go get our learnings, but we're under the Magic Factory umbrella.
And at the time when you're doing Magic Factory and Big Fish, do you know that you want to go into producing, directing, or is it just like that's the only role where you can control the narrative?
No, I want to be an actress. What do you
want to be
mean?
famous?
I want to be famous.
I wanted to be on Billboard.
Yeah, I wanted to be in front of the
grow your
camera.
Instagram page.
Yeah, I was just like, what? So actor. And then I got introduced to behind the scenes. Then I'm like, hold on. This is a very interesting world. And then I started having the interest in behind the scenes. Oh no, I wanted to be an actress.
Do you think it's more financially viable to be behind the scenes?
Definitely. As controversial as it sounds, I think so. And I always advise people who say to me they want to go study acting, and I go, don't you want to study it part-time? Do you know what I mean? I think it is viable. I think depends on where you are in your career, but I can imagine when you're not getting those roles, what else can you do?
Yeah.
At least do the sound and get a daily rate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then when the roles come through, go be famous, go do your thing. But I do think learning a skill behind the scenes is quite important, and it also will help you in front of the camera because now you know how it works. So you can play for it.
So as a potential actor and your career died very early, do you still dream of it, or at least like a cameo? Camera.
No, I don't dream of acting, but I do have aspirations of maybe doing something else that's in front of the camera, whether it's talk or whatever, but not necessarily acting now. Yeah.
Do you still practice monologues?
No.
You don't remember a monologue that you used to do?
No. I think I brief cruise enough. That's my monologue every morning.
Yeah.
When I have to brief the gents, it's fine. I'll perform there.
You don't have mirror moments where you just like to be...
Not at all.
It's gone, it's dead.
Gone.
You know, I still want to have cameos like features, ne? Nambing Funk act, and then I was told, no, you're bad. So
try again.
Yeah, but I also just like wanna have safe roles where I'm just like walking past. Or you're like, yeah, you're like, hey, come sit down. And that's it. That's my scene.
I'm scared that I'm gonna do that and tell the cameraman, I think you're shooting it incorrectly. Did you want to stand this way? So no.
And then you went from Endemol, Urban Brew, were you just bouncing around?
I think that's the joy of being a freelancer, is that you work anywhere where the wind blows or where the money is, which is good and bad. It's good in the sense that you get to experience a lot of different shows, but it's bad because you just don't know where your next paycheck is. And I think that's a big issue for many freelancers, is that you complete a show now, where to from here. So you have to be very, very strategic in who you meet, how do you position yourself so that you don't have to, be in that limbo. But yeah, that's how being a freelancer works.
Back to Housewives. Obviously, it's a franchise. It's controlled by another production. How do you then choose the contestants? Or is it just like based off whoever's available at that time?
I think it's both. There are women who will reach out and say, hey, should something like this ever come through, I want to be in it, which is good. But usually the ones that want to be in it are the wrong ones.
Yes.
Usually. So there's that part of it. And then there's a part where you actually have to go and find them. And I think it's important to have someone in the team who is in that world. So for me, it wouldn't be difficult now because I own my own company and I produce. But earlier, it would have been hard for me to go find 7 Housewives because I'm not in that world. I'm not in Sandhurst. I'm not in all these places. But then you have someone else who lives in that world who says, listen, that chick that I have coffee with the Tashas,
yes,
I think she could. And also remember, they now believe you because you're coming with someone who's in their world.
Yes.
And I think in reality shows, you have to be believable as a producer. To someone to believe that you can tell their story, you have to know something about their world.
And how many times have you been told no? Like if you meet somebody and you're like, you'd be great, and they're just like, I don't do that.
A lot of the times the people that I want usually say no because it's just too much to lose. It's just too much. Like, they're really rich. Like, they don't need this.
Yeah, because my notion
need this.
My notion is like you actually have the broke rich ladies because the rich ones have got stuff to do or they're not
stuff to do or stuff to lose. And also they've worked so hard to build what they have. Why would they want 4 cameras every day in their lives for the next 3 weeks? Yeah. And then there are some who are exceptionally rich who just also enjoy fame.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's half, but it's difficult, especially the ones that tick all the boxes. But I think Housewives is we've got different archetypes. Not everybody has to be rich.
Yeah.
I mean, this is TV. We can make you seem rich.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of TV.
We can make it seem like you're rich, but I think we need the villain.
Yeah.
We need the joker. We need the peacemaker. So if you're not living in Sandhurst, I mean, we can make it work. You've got a great personality. Come.
Yeah.
We'll cover you.
Yeah.
But you can't not have the personality and not have the money. I think now we're playing.
Milk and Honey, how does that start?
Milk and Honey starts off of anger in the industry. It starts off of I'm tired of pitching for other people. I'm tired of making other companies money while I'm broke. And so it's either I start pitching or I stop working. As a freelancer, which was the most difficult decision to make. One, it does rub people off the wrong way. Who are you? Now that you find your voice, you think you're better. It's a risk because how do you know you're going to get those pitches? And all the shows that you are leaving or have left, what do you think is going to happen with them? So it was quite a dark period before it actually, started to rise. So that's how Milk and Honey came about. I think I was tired.
Yeah.
And I think I was just ready to do it on my own now, because I finally realized that, no, man, I'm the key here. And without saying it arrogantly, when you just click that, okay, it's time I do it. Because I've realized that if I don't do this for this person, if I don't send this through, they're actually quite stuck. So how's about I sort of position all the energy back to myself and see what happens. So that's how Milk and Honey starts.
But aren't you scared now that you're going to get hungry? Because obviously you are leaving a world of stability to take chances.
Very scared. And also the rates I was being offered when I was leaving were quite lucrative. I was like, come on, Posh. No, there's no need to be brave. What's the bravery
Just
for?
pay your rent.
Just pay your rent, take the money, and just do the thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'll do it by myself. It was very difficult. So I would advise anybody who wants to do it, know what you're getting yourself into and be brave enough to stay in there. But I also think I don't have much to lose in terms of I didn't have a lifestyle I couldn't maintain. I don't have a family that I'm not honest with. So it was like, okay, and then what? So I think a lot of us, if we really dig deeper as to the reasons why we're not on our own, you would find that our reasons are based on other people and what they would say and the embarrassment of losing ABCD. But I didn't really have all those issues.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that hard of a decision, but the gap that I took in the industry of declining work and not getting work was quite hard. Yeah.
Now you are working. You're working for yourself. You were shooting, I think, in Durban. How is the shift now? Because now you have to control everything from schedule, from flying, location. How are you managing that?
I think it's crazy. It's insane. I understand why half of us are mad. Fully understand why, because the buck stops with you. Every morning you're looking at everyone, you're like, oh no. If anyone even just reverses the car, you're like checking the mirror, like, oh no, please don't bump anybody. That's how, as a producer, everything stops with you. So it's quite hard. But I think luckily for me, because I spent a lot of time in the industry as a freelancer, it's not that difficult. A lot of people want to jump. You can't come out of school and say you're a director. You can't. You are going to miss things.
But that's what they teach you at AFDA. That's why I hate AFDA kids.
Yeah.
People will leave AFDA and you're a sound engineer or you're a director.
First of all, you're going to leave school, you've learned a Hollywood curriculum, and then I offer you a job on Mutatako, and then you're going to freeze. Because now you're just like, what? I'm like, well, that's the only job available. I'm working on Please Step In, which is a real thing. I'm working on Our Perfect Wedding. Come. And then you're going to be like, oh no, I'm a Hollywood writer. It doesn't work like that. So because I did not jump, I literally started as an intern. From an intern to a runner. I used to work at the Wild. My job was to feed the cast, was to go to and say, ma'am, do I want your milk warm, cold? Or, that's where I started.
Yeah.
Then I went into wardrobe, where I used to be sent to go pick up 10 items of clothing. I didn't know what they meant. I get there, Google, what's turquoise? Oh, this color is what they mean. And they're swearing at you in your ear to be like, where are the things? That's where you need to start. And then I went into content producing. Then I was a researcher. I was on the streets asking people, do you have marriage problems? Do you have, I mean, because then when I'm a producer and the research says to me, I don't have a story.
Yeah.
I don't break them and shout them overnight and say, get the story, else you're fired. I go, okay, let's pause the shoot, because I know what it's like to spend the whole day on the street and not have a story. So you see how experience helps.
Yes.
So it's difficult, but because I'm experienced, it's cool.
But also now, where do you draw the line? Because you obviously can't keep pushing out shoots because somebody's not getting a story.
Who are you hiring? What's your planning? For example, I never go into a show that needs stories without at least 15 stories, because out of those 15, I only have 5.
Yeah.
So it's those things you need to calculate. And also with experience, you get to hear a story from hearing it, that red flag's not going to happen or the husband's not going to show up. There's just things you learn good to know.
Yeah.
Drop it before you even commit to it. Yeah.
What would you say your contribution to the arts is?
I think I I hire people. Jeez, doesn't that matter? My contribution is employment. My contribution is empowering a lot of young girls. I'm very passionate about that. So I think I contribute a new wave of talent that is safe, that believes in themselves.
And when you wake up every morning, I'm not saying you're going to die, but what do you want to be remembered for? Employment is great. You're actually giving people money, but are you working towards some legacy or impact?
To be honest, I want people to go and say that girl believed in me. And shifted my psychology, and I became a better person because she opened the door.
So you're the Oprah of BTS.
Yeah, but I'm like the real Oprah. Like, I'm on the ground opening doors, man. It's tough. But I honestly want people to say she believed in me, because I think a lot of us have great speeches about women empowerment and all these nice things, but who's actually opening the door?
Yeah.
Who's saying, come on my set and be an intern? I think I'm more on that. We need to be practical about the motivations we give.
Anything you want to add that I didn't ask you?
Just keep following us, man.
On Milk and Honey TV.
Yeah.
All of your social medias are the same name?
All social media are the same. Keep following us and go tell the right people to give us shows.
Yeah. But you know the right people. You used to be the right people.
Oh.
Do you never just like call a friend and be like, hey, sis?
Work like that. It's
Yeah.
tough. No. I'm a little bit too ethical when it comes to that.
Thank you so much. That was Portia Hlubi. Next week, I will be chatting to Johnny from Just Media, and he's going to be telling us how to start and run a production house. Until you hear my voice again, it's goodbye and keep binging.